I
Hello,
know.
everyone. My name is Patricia Silver, your host of Crown Different, and this is the beautiful Michelle. Michelle, will you please introduce yourself to us and tell us what your title is and what pageant system you can won your title
I
in?
am Michelle Douglas. I'm from Ardmore, Oklahoma. I am the World's Ms. Tourism 2023 with the World's Miss Tourism pageants.
Oh, okay. Michelle and I have a connection. We'll get there in a little bit. Michelle, could you tell us a little bit about World Tourism?
World Tourism is the pageant system from 5 years up to whatever. We have a classic group that, it doesn't stop. If you're 100 years old, you can do it. It is for every girl everywhere, no matter where you're from, no matter what you have going on, even if you have a disability or anything. It is for every female out there. And it is an absolutely amazing system because everybody is so encouraging and welcoming and helpful. And there's just so many things you can do. I've met so many amazing people, including yourself, with this. And I've had so many opportunities that have been given to me that would not have come my way if it hadn't been for this pageant system.
Okay, so since you did mention that, Michelle and I have a great
Oh,
connection.
sorry.
I'll probably try to insert some pictures here. I was crowned World Miss Tourism 2022 last year, and Michelle and I were both the last two people up on the stage. And I kept holding her hands and telling her, "You got it." And she told me, "No, you got it." And
Oh,
I won, and I was honest in my farewell speech. I don't remember getting crowned. I remember holding your hands. But the biggest memory I have had, and the best memory, was when you, Melissa, and I believe it was that Kathy were all waiting
mm-hmm.
out after I was crowned, and the four of us just circled up and hugged. I mean, that was the
Yes.
first, I wouldn't say the first time, but in a very long time that I actually felt like there was that sisterhood of pageantry. Michelle is my successor, and literally, I'll throw another picture in here somewhere. I hugged you. I was like backstage because I knew you.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
So there are different things. I'm looking at the pictures going, oh my goodness, when did that happen? But I posted my ugly cry picture of them hugging, and I don't even remember that moment.
Yes. It's good to have those photos though. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So could you tell me, do you have a platform? And if you do, what is your platform?
My platform is disabilities and acceptance. It is a platform that is close to me because my youngest son is autistic. He has ADD, ADHD combined, and then some other issues also. But I have several friends that have kids or grandchildren or nieces and nephews that have other disabilities. My oldest son has a physical disability.
Mm-hmm.
And so my oldest daughter is also losing her hearing. So I want to, my goal is with speaking at schools and with groups and things is to bring light to all disabilities, and that they're just different abilities,
Mm-hmm.
and they want the same thing that you and I want every day, to just be fit in and to be accepted, not be picked last for the team. Just know that everybody has something special within them that they can give and be productive in society, and that we need to help strengthen that and not push them aside just because they are a
This
little
is
bit
the
different.
purpose you found with your crown. And if you've, with those opportunities that have opened up because of your crown, could you tell us a little bit of what you're doing?
Well, I have spoken at some schools and I've spoken to some different groups. We're actually getting ready to do a thing on the news because I'm also finishing up my first children's book, which is from about 10 years on up to high school, which is about the differences in disabilities. Each chapter, there's 5 chapters. Um, each chapter is 5 pages long, so it's not overpowering, but each chapter is a different disability. And the last chapter is a parent chapter on don't discredit your child when they ask a question, different avenues that they can go to if they don't know the answers.
Mm-hmm.
My second book is going to be from little, about 3 years old, when they really start asking questions, what's wrong with them, or what's this, on up to elementary. Um, I have had just multiple things going on as far as I had to set the book aside for just a few days because the writer's block is real.
Mm-hmm.
Picking it back up to finish up, but we've got a lot of different things that are going on between things with the platform, plus my music, plus the designer stuff for the fashion. So, I mean, there's just so many things.
You know what? Why don't you tell our viewers last year, I know you were surprised among everybody. MV opened up a door for you, and MV was I was her successor, and she was Miss World's Miss Tourism 2021. So could you tell us, because I know that door opened up another door, which opened up another door. If you could tell us a little bit of what you're doing with that, and what that first door that MV gave you opened, and what you got to do.
Envy was able to invite people to go and model that she thought would be able to handle. I had actually won the World's Tourism Fashion Model crown and sash, which I thought I completely had bombed that part of the competition. So I went to New York Fashion Week in 2022 for my first time ever. I modeled for 5 different designers. I was absolutely just amazed. And then talking to one of the gentlemen that is the director of the Beautiful You Fashion Tour, which Envy was modeling for also. He does other shows around the US. And so I ended up getting booked for other shows from Oklahoma City to Dallas to Houston to Austin and other states. And so I started modeling. Well, then he was like, wait a minute. He caught me talking to another person and was like, what, you're a designer? And I was like, yeah, all of my pageant gowns and my daughter's gowns for the last 8 years, I've made them all. And he's going, okay, so you're going to be a designer for my next show. So for September of Fashion Week in New York City for 2022, I was there not only as a model, but I also had 40 of my gowns take the runway twice, two different nights of Fashion Week. I had 40 girls in my gowns. And before I even laid them out, the girls were, can we try this one? Can we try that one? He would come in and tell the designers, okay, this is what the deal is. And I'm like, all mine are already spoken for because the girls just swarmed my table. So I've done that. I've already been invited back for February, which I'm not doing February, but I will be back in for September 2023 in New York City. And then I also just got back Victoria Henley, the America's Next Top Model, was one of the models that I had that wore a dress that I call the Victoria. It's an illusion gown because it's Victorian lace and then it just covers what needs to be covered. So it gives the illusion of the rest of the body. And she walked in my gown for New York Fashion Week this last September. And she invited me to go to Gulfport, Mississippi and be in her show as a designer and model. So December 10th, I was in Gulfport, Mississippi.
Oh my gosh.
And 45 of my gowns walked her runway at the Magnifique modeling show at the Beachfront Hotel for Victoria Henley, Magnifique Modeling. All of my gowns walked. And then we also got to pick ambassadors that are my brand ambassadors. So anything that I have going on, when I have a new gown, I can say, hey, can you come take pictures? This is a new gown. They are my brand ambassadors that will model my gowns.
Oh, wow.
And Victoria Henley is one of my ambassadors.
That
so
is
it's
amazing.
pretty exciting.
It's amazing what a pageant and a crown could open up for you.
Yes, so much.
I'm so excited for you.
Michelle,
could you tell us why you started competing in pageants?
I actually had done some modeling in pageants when I was younger, but my oldest daughter did one pageant and was like, nope, not for me. My youngest daughter did a pageant at 4, and I'm thinking she's not going to want to keep doing this, a fuss over the hair. Oh no, created a monster. Well, then there were some pageants that were mommy and me. There was a mom's category. She's like, Mama, you got to do this. You got to do this with me. So I did a couple and it kind of brought it all back in. And that couple turned into more. And then here I am 8 years later and still.
Now I created Crown Different for women over the age of 30. I know I did like maybe 2 pageants back when I was in high school, but really rediscovered them probably about 8 years ago. And how and why would you encourage women of our age, 30 to over 100? Why would you encourage them to compete in pageants?
Well, I am 49. I will be 50 in March. So to me, one, this is something I'm sharing with my daughter. And my daughter, Elizabeth, is actually also in the tourism pageant. She's the world's junior teen Miss Oklahoma. So, to me, we get to a certain point where we have things going on and our bodies are changing, and we
Mhm.
have all these things that it's like, okay, wait a minute. This isn't happening. This isn't supposed to be happening. I'm still supposed to be young and be able to get up and move. And then we start looking at ourselves differently, and the self-esteem starts going down, and
Mhm.
our belief in ourselves starts going down, and we start degrading ourselves in our own minds, which our own mind is our worst enemy, because what we think about ourselves isn't the way that other people see us. And we find that out when we get out there in the public
Mhm.
and do things. And to me, it is a way that if you still feel like you are young at heart,
Mhm.
but yes, you're 50, 60, 70 years old, and you still can get up there and go, and you still, it makes you feel beautiful. It makes you feel like you're a part of something,
Mhm.
and it gives you that extra little bit of life back, that little bit of spunk
Yes.
of, okay, wait a minute, I got up there and did this with all these other girls. Next year, if I decide to do this after I crown my successor, I will actually be in the classic group, which is the 50 and up.
Yes.
So haven't decided yet. It's not a no, but it's not a complete yes yet. But it's just one of those that we get to that point where what else is that we can do? And the girls are everybody is so encouraging,
Mhm.
and they're just right there to lift you up. And I think it's just fun. It just keeps kind of letting other women know, hey, you can still do this. You're not too old, really. Because
Yes.
we're told so many times you're too old, or, you know, just the way that some people kind of make you feel like you've had your turn, you just
Mhm.
need to go on. No,
Mhm.
our time's not done. We are not gone yet. We're still here. We're still living life. We still have a lot to offer.
Yes.
And to me, it's just one of those that, you can still keep going. If you ask my daughter, I will be 90 years old still standing on a pageant
Tell the
stage.
viewers a little bit about yourself outside the world of pageantry.
Outside the world of pageantry, let's see, I'm 49 years old. I am a mom. I have 5 amazing kids. My love and I have been together for almost 6 years.
Mhm.
I have 2 bonuses from him.
Mhm.
And we have a fur baby that runs around thinking that she's human. Um, I I'm at home every day taking care of the house, the kids. I make the gowns and do other things. I also do hair and makeup and pictures for pageants. Um,
Wow.
so if I've got one of my students, I teach, I coach.
Mhm.
So even when I'm not in a pageant or doing something, with a pageant, I'm still in pageantry because I do Zoom lessons for kids that I have that are students that are out of town
Mhm.
or meet to do lessons here in town,
Mhm.
teaching the different pageant walks and modeling and things like that. So I kind of have a lot of things going on right now, and trying to finish the first book. And so it's just every day is a different day that can sometimes get hectic.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to let me interview you. I am, like, again,
Thank you.
so excited to see this year and what you've brought to your crown and to tourism. And thank you again for letting me interview you. And we're going to close out this year with 2022 is the end of my reign, and 2022 to 2023 is the beginning of your reign, from July to your successor. And I feel like it's gone full circle. So thank you so much for doing
Yes.
this.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.